Hey guys, Zen here, and welcome back to a brand new video. We were away, and since we left, there's been a ton, and I mean a ton, of massive news for Rainbow Six Siege, and so today we're going over all of it. There's also some really big news with the official LZS Discord tournament I'd like to share with you at the end of the video, so if you're involved, you're gonna want to hear this, but let's get on with it. First up, we have a brand new patch. So, the Year 3 Season 4.1 patch is now live, and it actually made some pretty big changes to the game. Now, the biggest change is to the destruction in the game. Ubisoft says visual upgrades and optimizations have been ongoing, and the new destruction decals and police paint jobs are a part of that. Destruction decals are now optimized for 4K and come in a greater variety, and the police cars have the new car smell, and they also give us some examples of this. Now, I decided to take it a step further and test it out with a few of the operators, and as you can see with Sledge, it's changed that big puffy cloud around the opening and made it much tighter and closer to the point of impact. I also tested it out with Buck's skeleton key, and you can see that there is a similar effect. The holes look a lot cleaner, and I've also noticed that vaulting seems to be a bit more consistent as well. Now, this isn't mentioned in the patch notes, but it seems to be a little easier to vault now that this change has been made. I know you guys have been through it, where you open a hole and you're forced to mash the vault key before your operator actually goes through because some of the inconsistencies with that breach. So it feels like this has been made better, but that could also just be the fact that the holes are cleaner and a little bit easier to visually understand. Moving on, we can talk about balancing. This update is bringing some changes to a few of the operators in the game. Starting off with Kaid, there's a nerf to the .44 mag semi-auto, where they've increased the recoil. It will now be more difficult to chain shots precisely at long range, and they've heavily decreased the damage by reducing it from 74 all the way down to 54. Now, both Nomad and Kaid are affected by this obviously, but this is a really significant nerf to this secondary. Since their release, this pistol has been the #1 point of interest to the community. Even beyond the Electroclaw gadget or the whole AK versus ARX debate, this pistol has been one of the biggest topics within this operation. So naturally, because of this, we're seeing this weapon's second nerf, and this time it's really hitting hard. Now, to be honest, the recoil is still pretty manageable, especially on PC. You do have to slow down your shots if you want to remain accurate, but you will most definitely feel the nerf to the damage. What used to down in 2 hits now takes 3, and it's that third shot that will get you headshotted by your enemy most of the time. In really any given gunfight, you can peek twice, and most of the time you'll get away with it. But in my experience, it's that third peek that will get you killed, and it's mainly because your opponent has plenty of time to line up the headshot and take you out. So when it comes to this particular weapon, yes, it still has the cleanest sight in the game, but unless you get that headshot, you're gonna need to really think about how you place your shots and how much risk you're willing to take using this pistol. Now, in my opinion, this hurts Kaid a lot more than Nomad. I personally love his AUG, but a lot of people see it as very weak and run to this pistol almost like a primary to compensate. So if you are this kind of person, I'm gonna recommend you try his DMR-like shotgun. Now, if you're on console, at least from what I've heard, you really need to stick it out with the AUG and try to master its recoil because the shotgun is basically unusable on console. Now, moving over to Nomad, they'll be removing her concussion grenades in favor of a Claymore. Ubisoft says the synergy between Nomad's air jabs and the 3 stun grenades gave her a bit too much utility individually. While the addition of a Claymore can provide Nomad with some trap functionality, we'll be monitoring the interactions between her gadget and the Claymore to see if it fits better. So for me, this really isn't a huge deal. I think Attack has plenty of very popular ops with flashbangs such as Ash, so removing them from Nomad won't really change my feelings on her. On top of that, you can make a pretty cool trap by using her air jab to push an enemy into a Claymore. So the fact that she now has that Claymore will only make this easier. So before we move on, I thought I'd bring you guys my latest 1v5 clutch featuring Nomad before the change with the flashbangs. I just couldn't pass this one up.
Friendly, last operator standing.
Nomad clutch. Yo, shoot your boom things. I hate Echo. Cool.
Last stop standing.
Same point. I'm gonna ping him when you get to the... Ping him.
He's off his thing. He's off his thing.
Ping him.
Pinging him now.
Yo, I fucking love you, dude.
But now we can talk about Valkyrie, an operator I've really been enjoying recently. She's received a bit of a nerf where her throw curve is now changed and she can't throw her black eye cam nearly as far as she could before. Now, as you can see, standing here on Hereford base and tossing the cams, they don't go very far. Actually, it's quite a shallow distance. And so now Valkyrie won't be able to get those cams in ridiculously high places outside. And of course, if she attempts to, they won't go very far. Now, as far as inside the map, this update really shouldn't change much. You can still get them up pretty much wherever you'd like, but again, they curve almost straight down after a certain point, so you'll have to be a little bit more conservative where you toss them. For whatever reason, Ubisoft says that Valk also started focusing more on leg day for a more balanced workout routine, which just baffles me. Next up, we have some new leaks, starting off with what could be a face change to Hibana. Now, right off the bat, take this with a massive grain of salt. Personally, this looks pretty fake to me, but supposedly it was found direct within the game files, so I wanted to make sure and show you guys. The main reason I feel it's fake is because of this operator's video. Why would Ubisoft make a whole new operator video just to show off a new face? I mean, the video does look legit, but you'd be surprised what can be done through the power of editing. Now, if this is real, I'd say this actually does look a lot better than the face Hibana currently has and looks more in line with Japanese traits. The current Hibana has a somewhat squished, almost flat looking face, which kind of reminds me of Kermit the Frog. How did we get to this point? Next, there's a new leak for a new gingerbread weapon skin, which will most likely be here for the holidays, and it goes perfectly with the new Ginger Snap charm, which is the reward for the new festive challenge. Get a minimum score of 4,000 in a match and receive the Ginger Snap charm. There's also a new community challenge, similar to what we saw with the Madhouse event. If, as a community, we collectively get 55 million kills in multiplayer, everyone will get access to the Stalking Pup charm. It looks like Ubisoft added 15 million kills since the last community challenge because we absolutely crushed it. Again, you can easily track your own contribution, and I'd love to know exactly how many you've racked up towards this challenge, so let us all know down below. But that's the news, and now we can talk about the official LZS tournament. What once began as a humble announcement before my leave has turned into a full-on event, and it's actually made waves throughout the community. I've had random people in-game tell me they've signed up for the tournament and plan to bring home the gold, and so it's time to really get serious. First, the rewards. The 5 winners of this tournament will receive a personal shout-out from me here on this channel. I'll also be uploading a champions-only mini-tage of all your best moments from within the tournament here on the channel, and if that wasn't enough, you'll be awarded a special champion role within the LZS Discord with special privileges and hold the championship belt for the next tournament. So you'll be the guys to beat, and your team name will be known as the first ever winners of Zen's community tournament. This doesn't last forever though, and you'll only be able to keep your championship role and title if you maintain it. Other teams will want your spot, so like any other champion, you need to crush them and show them who's boss. Now, you console guys are also involved, and as of now, we have 20 teams for both Xbox and PS4. But the only way to make the console side of things work is if we have a host for both PS4 and Xbox. As a host, you will not be competing, but you'll be working closely with the admins to allow those who'd like to spectate on those platforms a chance to. It really is the only way to make the console side of things work. Please DM me on either Discord or Twitter, and we'll go from there. Now, before we head out, I just want it to be known that I didn't create this. This is a collaborative effort between those who are extremely active and extremely loyal within the Discord and the Rainbow Six Siege community. You guys want a platform for high competitive play, and I never thought it'd be this channel's community that starts that. This is so far beyond me at this point that I'm not entirely sure we can pull it off flawlessly, but I'm going to try my best to make this tournament something to remember, so thank you for that. Now, the event was to kick off this weekend, but it has been delayed until next weekend. So the official tournament date is Friday, December 28th, and the entire thing will be live streamed here on YouTube starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 2 p.m. Pacific. We were fully booked and all of the teams were locked in, but we may have some slots open after the recent epidemic, so please click the link in the description, join the Discord, and speak with either the admins or our commissioner for all of the details. I've also gotten the question if those who are competing can stream it, and yes, I fully support you. The biggest question I keep getting though is if I'll be competing. All I'll say is that in the event you come across me, aim for the head. But that's everything, guys. A massive video packed with a ton of information. But I want to hear from you. What do you guys think of the changes to both both Nomad and Kaid? And do you plan on becoming a champion next weekend? Let me know everything down below. If you did enjoy this video, please drop a like and subscribe with notifications if you're new. With that being said, it's been Zen. Hey, I'm out.